The 1965 Washington quarter dollar is one of the most important transitional coins in United States history. Before 1965, quarters were made from 90% silver and 10% copper, but due to the rising silver prices in the early 1960s, the U.S. government faced a serious problem. People started hoarding silver coins because the silver content became more valuable than the face value of the coin itself. To solve this, the U.S. Mint introduced a new composition for the quarter in 1965, which was a copper-nickel-clad coin instead of silver. This was the first year the Washington quarter was struck without silver, making 1965 a landmark year in American coinage. The coin was struck with a pure copper core sandwiched between two outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a total composition of about 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. The weight of the coin is 5.67 grams, and it has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, with a reeded edge. The obverse of the 1965 quarter features the familiar portrait of George Washington, the first President of the United States, designed by John Flanagan. This portrait has been a symbol of strength and leadership since its introduction in 1932, marking the bicentennial of Washington's birth. The word liberty appears at the top, while the motto "In God We Trust" is inscribed to the left of Washington's portrait. The date 1965 is displayed at the bottom. Unlike quarters from previous years, the 1965 version has no mint mark, because during this transitional period, the U.S. Mint deliberately removed mint marks from all coins to discourage coin hoarding and collecting, as the public was aware of the silver-to-clad transition. This makes the 1965 quarter unique. It was struck in massive numbers, but none bear a mint mark, regardless of whether they were struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. On the reverse side, the design continues with John Flanagan heraldic eagle. The eagle is depicted with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and readiness to defend the nation. Below the arrows are two olive branches, representing peace. The inscriptions include United States of America at the top, the motto E pluribus unum between the eagle's wings, and quarter dollar at the bottom. This reverse design remained in use until the introduction of the 50-state quarters program in 1999, making the 1965 quarter part of a long era of U.S. coinage history. In terms of mintage, the 1965 Washington quarter was produced in extremely high numbers. Over 1.8 billion quarters were struck that year, which was necessary to replace the silver coins being hoarded by the public. Because of this massive production, the 1965 quarter is considered common in circulation, and millions still exist today. However, despite its common circulation status, collectors often seek certain special varieties or high-grade examples. For example, quarters struck on leftover 90% silver planchets from 1964 are extremely rare error coins, and these can be worth thousands of dollars depending on condition. Likewise, quarters with striking errors, double dies, or full steps on Washington's hairline can command higher values among collectors. When it comes to market value today, the average 1965 quarter that you find in your pocket change is generally worth 25 cents because it contains no silver and is very common. However, condition plays a big role in numismatics. In circulated condition, these coins don't usually bring much more than face value. But in uncirculated, mint state condition, especially those graded MS-65 and higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, values can range from $10 to $50 or more, depending on eye appeal and luster. Exceptional examples with flawless surfaces, full details, and strong strikes can sell for hundreds of dollars at auctions. The rare 1965 silver transitional error quarter, if authenticated, has sold for thousands, sometimes even over $7,000 to $10,000, making it a dream coin for error collectors. Another factor that adds to the interest in 1965 quarters is their role in the broader story of U.S. coinage history. This year marked the official end of circulating silver quarters, nickels, and dimes. For that reason, collectors often keep a 1965 quarter as a symbolic piece, not because of its rarity, but because of its historical significance. It represents the shift from silver money to modern base metal coinage, a change that shaped the coins we use every day. Many coin enthusiasts also like to compare the 1965 clad quarters with the 1964 silver quarters side by side to see the slight differences in edge color, sound, and weight. In conclusion, the 1965 Washington quarter dollar may not be rare in general circulation, but it holds great historical importance. It was the first clad quarter in U.S. history, struck in massive numbers to replace hoarded silver coins, and it remains a common coin in circulation even today. While most examples are worth only face value, high-grade uncirculated pieces, error coins, and especially transitional silver planchet errors can be worth significant amounts, sometimes reaching thousands of dollars. For collectors, the 1965 quarter is not only a piece of metal, but also a reminder of a turning point in American monetary history, when the nation shifted from silver coinage to modern clad coinage, forever changing the landscape of U.S. coins. The 1987 United States quarter dollar is part of the Washington Quarter series, which has been in circulation since 1932. The coin was designed by John Flanagan to honor George Washington, the first president of the United States. On the obverse front side of the coin, you will see a portrait of Washington facing left, with the word Liberty inscribed at the top. In God We Trust on the left side, and the year of issue 1987 placed at the bottom. The mint mark D on this particular coin indicates that it was struck at the Denver Mint in Colorado. The reverse back side of the 1987 quarter still features the classic heraldic eagle design, with its wings spread out, clutching arrows and an olive branch in its talons, symbolizing both war readiness and peace. Surrounding the eagle is the inscription, United States of America, E pluribus unum, and the denomination quarter dollar. In terms of specifications, the 1987 Washington quarter is composed of a copper-nickel-clad alloy, meaning it has a core of pure copper with an outer layer of nickel, giving it a silver-like appearance. It weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, and a reeded edge. By 1987, silver had long been removed from circulation quarters, as silver quarters had ended in 1964. Therefore, the 1987 D quarter is made for everyday use and not from any precious metal, which affects its intrinsic melt value. It was produced in very large quantities because quarters were in high demand for commerce during this period. The Denver Mint struck over 655 million quarters in 1987, which makes it a very common date for collectors and coin hunters. When it comes to value, the 1987 D Washington quarter in circulated condition is generally worth only its face value of 25 cents because of its large mintage and lack of silver. However, collectors often look for coins in uncirculated or mint state condition, where the coin has not been used in commerce and still retains its original luster. In uncirculated grades such as MS 63 to MS 65, the value can range from $1 to $5 depending on quality. Exceptional high-grade specimens, especially those graded MS 67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, can sell for significantly more, sometimes in the range of $50 to $150. Rarer still are error coins, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or clipped planchets, which can fetch hundreds of dollars depending on rarity and demand. In today's coin market, most 1987 D quarters that people find in their pocket change or in circulation are only worth face value, but collectors still enjoy keeping them as part of a full Washington quarter date and mint set. For example, building a complete collection from 1932 up to the state quarters program requires having a 1987 D coin. This gives the coin some collectors' significance, even though it is not rare. Another interesting detail is that 1987 was part of the era before the U.S. Mint introduced the state quarters program in 1999, which means these quarters represent the classic eagle reverse design that lasted for decades. If you are evaluating a 1987 D quarter today, you should check for two things: the overall condition of the coin and whether it has any unique errors or varieties. A heavily worn coin that has been in circulation for decades is only worth 25 cents, but a coin kept in pristine condition since 1987 could have collector interest. Coin grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, often certify these coins, and the highest graded examples with strong eye appeal are where the true market value lies. As of now, the auction record for a superbly graded 1987 D Washington quarter is well over $600, which shows that even modern coins can sometimes achieve strong prices in the right condition. In conclusion, the The 1987 D-quarter dollar is a fascinating piece of American coinage history, even though it is not rare or silver-based. Its value today mainly depends on condition, with circulated pieces being worth only 25 cents, but uncirculated and high-grade examples commanding a collector premium. With over $500 million struck, it is one of the more common Washington quarters, yet it still holds historical importance as part of the long-running Washington Quarter series before the dramatic shift to state and national park designs in later decades. For coin enthusiasts, it represents an accessible, affordable collectible, while for the casual holder, it is usually just a standard piece of pocket change, unless you happen to find one in top condition or with a striking mint error.